So welcome to New York Buddha Dharma, and we're meeting at the Nalanda Bodhi Center. This is another group, and we participate with them in using this space. So tonight the topic really is a meditation practice and how it works with mind. So I'd like to start. I think, are there people here who need meditation instruction or would like it? One, see some nods, okay. And it's always good to review. And I'm going to give you meditation instruction and also guide the meditation, which you might find helpful. The instruction that I'm going to give tonight is out of the Tibetan Buddhist tradition. In the Buddhist tradition, there are two main strains of meditation. One is called, in the Sanskrit, it's called shamatha, and the other is called vipashyana, or in the Pali, you might be familiar if you've done any Buddhist practice with people from Southeast Asia, they call it vipassana, same practice. Shamatha is the practice that is taught as well in the Hindu tradition. In fact, the Buddhists call it the common practice because it's held in common with Buddhism and Hinduism. So if you've practiced transcendental meditation, you would have practiced shamatha. If you've practiced meditation in a yoga studio, you would have practiced shamatha. And what shamatha is, it's all about is focusing the mind one-pointedly on an object. What the object is doesn't matter so much. The Buddhists usually use the breath because it's so neutral. It has no religious overtones which can complicate the meditation. It's simply an object of meditation. You can meditate on a mantra, a sound. You can meditate on a candle flame. You can meditate on anything. And the idea is that you're working with your thoughts and your awareness of the object. And as thoughts intrude, you notice them, you let them go, and you come back to single-pointed focus on the object of meditation, the breath. Vipassana, or vipashyana, which is often called awareness practice or insight meditation, has to do rather, instead of having a narrow focus for your awareness, you can expand it to include everything, the whole field of your awareness, the whole room that we're sitting in. It's wide, it's open, it's panoramic. Sometimes it's called that, vipassana. It's called panoramic awareness. It can include many things all at once. It's very, very relaxed. It's effortless, whereas shamatha, the idea of focus, is you're working very hard to focus your mind on an object. With vipassana, you're relaxing your mind. I come from a tradition of Tibetan Buddhism that was brought here by a man named Chogyam Trungpa Rinpoche. And he felt that Americans did best with at least as a beginning, with a combination of these two practices. Usually, shamatha is taught first, and then people progress along to vipassana. But he taught a kind of hybrid, and it's really a more advanced practice from the Tibetan point of view, but Americans took to it very well, and it's been practiced in this country for almost 50 years now. So I'm going to go over that with you today. So we start with meditation practice with posture. And you can sit on the ground, and you can sit in a chair. It's fine either way. But the most important point of posture is to have an erect spine, a nice straight spine, with your shoulders back a little bit, just a little. It's sort of like you're very alert, erect, uplifted. You're ready for anything. It's a cheerful attitude. It's an awake attitude. Our minds tend to follow our bodies to some degree. And if we sit over, slumped over like this, it looks kind of sad and complainatory, and our minds might follow that posture. But if you sit up like this, erect, straight, then your mind tends to follow that and be much more alert, ready, and awake for meditation practice, which is important. It's also good to do this because from a physical point of view, when you're erect, your breath and your energy flows in your body much more easily and naturally. Whereas when you're slumped over, it's kind of constricted. If you ever get to the Buddhist yogas, which have to do with subtle body, it's very important to have a straight spine because the energies of the subtle body travel through channels that are blocked if you're bent over and are open and available if you're straight. So good straight spine is important. If you're sitting on the ground, Milos, I'd like you to get another, instead of what you've got, get a square cushion and then put one of those support cushions, you've got one, he's got plenty there. Okay. Yeah, you could try that. You don't want too much height, but the main point is that you want your knees to be at the same level as your hips or lower. And that looks better. Now you're getting better. You could move back a little bit to get your feet on the cushion so they'll be more comfortable. That's good. You might you can experiment next time, you might get a little higher yet, a little more lift, because you want if your knees are above your hips, you tend to feel like you're falling back a little, and then you reach around your knees. Thanks, Alan. And you reach around your knees to pull yourself forward, and there's more tension. It might take a little while for you to experiment and get the combination that works right for you. If you're sitting in a chair, again, you want your knees right about the level of your hips, and you want your feet flat on something, which is good, Claudia, like that. If they don't reach the floor fully, then you put something under them so that they're flat. Okay? And our arms, we just you can drop them there and raise them up and just put them right down on your thighs like this. You'll see some fancier positions. Sometimes people doing this. These are symbolic positions. Okay. And they introduce a level of symbolism. There are all kinds of things you can do that is unnecessary because we're working with our minds and we want to keep things simple and clear. So, feet on the floor, good straight back. I think I'm going to give you this. Try sitting on that. That'll help you sit in the straight back without using the back of the chair. See? If you're sitting in a chair long term, a wedge-shaped cushion like that can be purchased for about $30 online, and they're really good to use in chairs.
What are they called?
Huh?
Wedge-shaped cushions?
I'll take a look after we finish. And there's a website. You can look at the website on the name on that cushion on the tag afterwards. And you'll be sitting in a chair because you've just had a hip operation. And I'd recommend this if you're going to continue. Let's see, any more about posture? Feet flat on the ground. It's good to do a body scan, briefly. You want to look for tension in your body and relax it. So you could start with your feet. There's generally no tension there. The places we find tension most commonly are the lower belly. And if you've got any tension, a way to get rid of it is just take a deep breath and let it out. Like like that. You can check your shoulders, see if any tension there, relax them. Your neck. And then you check your face. Oftentimes there's tension in one's forehead, in the eyes, cheeks, and you relax it. Your breathing in meditation practice is completely natural. If you've just climbed a flight of stairs, you might be breathing rapidly, that's fine. If you have been sitting for a while, your breathing will become shallow, that's fine. And we meditate in this practice with the eyes open. This is in the vipashyana or the tantric tradition. And your gaze is directed down at the ground at about a 45-degree angle, more or less. Doesn't really matter, whatever's comfortable. And your focus is very natural. You don't go swimmy, and you don't sort of bear down. You just have a very natural gaze directed down towards the ground. Any questions about posture at this point? Okay. So, we'll start with the actual meditation practice then. First, become aware of the whole room. You just let your awareness sort of relax, expand out to the walls. It can include anything and everything that presents itself to you. So the sound of my voice, whatever your eyes encounter, might be the floor or the person in front of you or a cushion or all kinds of shapes and colors. From time to time you might have physical sensations, bodily sensations of the pressure of your buttocks or your bottom on the cushion, your hands on your thighs, knees, whatever it might be. There probably won't be any taste or smell. And then there will be mental events that come and go. And our mind is just right here in this space. It's relaxed. It's effortless. It goes as wide or as narrow, it doesn't really matter. It's just here, and you're aware of the whole space with different things arising and passing away, different things coming into your awareness, and then not. All of it. If someone walks in late, they're not an interruption to your practice. They're just part of the space. So whatever arises in this space is fine. And sometimes your attention will be on one thing. It might be on some aspect of your posture, your knee or your hand on your leg. Another time it might be on my words. Another time it might be on some visual object that presents itself to you. Another time it might be on a thought. Am I doing this right? What's next? Who knows what thoughts could go through your head, an emotion, mental events of all kinds. And you just stay right here in this room, relaxed, aware, easy, completely effortless. And now in the middle of sort of this awareness, this open space, the breath comes up. you can feel your lower belly contract a little bit. And the breath comes up through your torso, through your chest, your throat, and it exits your nostrils. You can feel it as it leaves your nostrils. And it goes out into the room. And you see it, you imagine it going out like a line drawn on a piece of paper, or a line drawn on water. The breath goes out into the room, and as it goes out, it dissolves into the atmosphere of this room, dissolving as it goes. And it goes out fairly far. And then the breath comes up again, through your torso, through your chest, through your throat, through your nostrils, and it goes out like a line drawn on a piece of paper. And it goes out into this space. We're right here in the space. We never leave the space of this room. But the breath goes out like a highlight. And as it goes out, it's dissolving until it's gone. And then there's just this. And then the breath comes up from the belly, through the chest, throat, the nostrils, goes out into the space like a line drawn on paper, and then it dissolves, and there's just this space of this room filled with the different phenomena that present themselves to you at different times. So let's just do that for a minute. So your awareness is right here in the room, and the breath comes up through your throat and your nostrils. It exits your nostrils and it goes out into the space like a line in the space, dissolving as it goes until it's all gone and there's just the space of this room filled with whatever sights and sounds are arising, bodily sensations and mental events. If there was an odor, that would be part of it too. So the breath comes up, exits your nostrils. You're right here in the space, and the breath goes out and sort of punctuates that or makes a highlight, a line in the space. And then it dissolves into the space, into the air of this room. And there's just this. And we relax into awareness of this present moment in this place. Any comments or questions about this so far. There's one last piece. Complaints. No? Okay. So the last piece has to do with thought. And we tend to have a antagonistic attitude towards thought, like we want to get rid of it. But that in itself is another thought. And it doesn't really work, that kind of warfare. So what you really want to do with your thought is simply see it. There are basically two kinds of thoughts. There are little ones and big ones. And the little ones, you're right here in the space, you're aware of the breath, and this little thought goes across like, I wonder what's for dinner. My knee hurts. Am I doing this right? And you just see it go across and then it's gone and you're still here, aware, in the space, following the breath. Big thoughts take you away. And by thought, I also mean emotion, any mental event. And big thoughts, suddenly you realize that you've been in Poughkeepsie having a conversation with your mother, or in Tallahassee having a fight with an old friend or something, or making love or whatever you've been doing, and you've been completely gone. And you just see it. That's all you do, is you see it. And the minute that you see it, you're here. You don't have to do anything with it. And then you simply come back to the breath coming up, going out. It's very, what you're really doing is you're beginning to realize that, or see, that your field of awareness is punctuated by little highlights. And one kind of highlight is mental events. They're like figures on a ground, as though you took a piece of paper and you drew a line. That's what these mental events are. And you just see it, and as soon as you see it, it evaporates. That's what all thought does. It just evaporates as soon as you see it, as soon as you stop following it. So with thought, as you begin to become aware that you're having a thought, you see it, and it evaporates, and you're back here in the space with the breath. That's the practice. The main thing is not to treat thought as an enemy or as something to be gotten rid of. It gets rid of itself as soon as you're aware of it. So let's try that. So our awareness is right here in the space.
Sorry, I have to leave and cough.
No, just we'll make it part of the space. Fine, Mila. So you can really, in this kind of practice, what's so great about it is you can take it anywhere. You can take it out on the street, ultimately, when you stop working with the breath. Everything becomes a part of the practice. Someone coughing, someone entering the room. There are no interruptions. So you're aware of this space, the breath coming up through your throat, through your nostrils, and you go out with the breath into the space. It dissolves, and we're just right here, relaxed. Nothing to do. The breath comes up, exits the nostrils, goes out like a line, dissolves into the space, and here we are. Thoughts come and go. It's fine. You just come back to the breath as it comes up, exits your nostrils, goes out into the space, it dissolves, and you're right here. So your awareness is right here in the room, relaxed, open. There are no interruptions. And the breath comes up, exits your nostrils, goes out into the space like a line drawn on a piece of paper, dissolves as it goes out until it's all the way out. And then there's just a pause. And the breath comes up again, exits the nostrils, goes out, dissolves, and here you are. Thoughts don't matter. They just come and go. There are no profound thoughts, no trivial thoughts, no mundane thoughts, no holy thoughts. They're just thoughts. And when you become aware of them, they disappear and then come back again. So if you've been thinking, just be aware of the thought. See it. And now come back to awareness of the space of this room, this present moment. Easy, wide, relaxed. And your breath coming up through your torso, exiting your nostrils, and going out into the space like a line, dissolving as it goes. And then here you are. So if you've been thinking, just be aware of that. No problem. The thought will evaporate by itself. And you're back here in the room, relaxed, open. And in the middle of that, the breath comes up, exits your nostrils, goes out into the space of this room, this present moment, like a line, and then it dissolves, and there's just this. And we never leave this room, this present space, this time. Our awareness is just right here. This is what we come back to if we've been thinking. Relax into it, and in the middle of it, the breath is like a line drawn on a piece of paper, or a line drawn on water. Goes out, dissolving as it goes. And when it finishes, there's just this open space filled with sights and sounds and bodily sensations and whatever else. Okay. Any questions?